guys, it's Boba. Let's talk about Security Breach again. Before that though, please like, comment, and subscribe. Our goal is 100 subscribers, and I'd like for you to be part of that. Leave any ideas for what you want to see next down below, and let's grab our tea and begin. As I've said many times, Security Breach is in the top 5 of my favorite games. But one thing that really stood out when I looked back on it is I really don't like most of the characters, or at least they're not good protagonists. It really struck me as odd the more and more I thought about it, because that's a really pivotal point in game and storytelling. Because when I think about Freddy and Gregory, I have some issue with how they're written, but let me really break down what I mean. So first of all, you can have a protagonist that's doing bad or even horrible things, as long as you can convince the audience that they're either a person you can sympathize with, or you can at least root for. A great example of this is Harley Quinn from Batman. She commits these absolutely horrible crimes, but in the end, the audience can still sympathize with her. You know, she's deranged, like lovesick, blinded by it, and every horrible action stems from that blind love, from that irrational infatuation that harms her. The audience can see that when the Joker does this, it's all one-sided, and we feel bad for her. Now, with all that in mind, I'd like to talk about the character we play as, Gregory. To begin, I want to put a disclaimer: this is only based on the game. My way of seeing it is you shouldn't need outside materials to tell you what's going on. You shouldn't need books, or metadata, or trailers, or anything like that for you to have a successful story. So Gregory, let's get back to that topic. He is probably the least likable protagonist I've ever played as. And I get likable is a subjective term, and I totally get that a lot of people in the fandom like Gregory. That's totally fine, but for me, he's just way too aggressive and confusing with his motivations. Other people can project these wonderful characteristics onto him. I just see him as a little monster. First of all, this little boy could have just stayed with Freddy. I really don't see why that was an issue. Sure, maybe he'd have to hide in Freddy at some point, but he could just do that without any issue because there's a recharge station in the back. I mean, I really doubt maintenance was going to come in the middle of the night once everyone was closed. I mean, the doors were locked. There wasn't any real reason for him to leave till 6 a.m. Yes, I know that the mechanics for time in this game do not function that way, and that time only passes when missions are complete. I think a simple fix would be to give him a motivation for him to leave. One that doesn't have to be complicated, but one that makes sense. For example, if I didn't have any of the books to go off of, and things like that to reference, it could be as simple as putting in that a friend or family member went missing and Gregory is looking for them. He's driven to find them, and that's why he's aggressive around everyone he doesn't trust. Second, why does Gregory have such an issue with Vanessa? Sure, she's looking for him, but she's a guard. That's literally her job. There's no reason he should be freaked out at first. All logical points just should say that she's the best person to help him achieve the goal of getting out of the Pizzaplex. The distrust is completely undeserved. Third, why attack the other animatronics? I get they're under Vanny's control, potentially, but they're also the victims of this situation. They're living, feeling people that have relationships, quirks, and flaws. They're not outwardly malicious because they want to be. Sure, they might be vain due to some insecurities, aggressive due to anger issues, and have a creepy obsession with garbage. But they haven't shown any signs of that before, because even Freddy says, "They cannot hurt you, it's not in our programming." So hurting them to the point they're impaired and almost shut down is basically very cruel, and he's always skirting around the truth with Freddy. And poor Freddy is showing genuine concern for his friends. These incidents just show premeditated violence to remove valuable parts of Freddy's friends with no thought or remorse of helping them. He really isn't a relatable protagonist, just some unlikable jerk. And that's just not well written. We're supposed to feel something when we win, not feel the dread of looking Freddy in the face and telling them what happened. I would say this could actually be easily remedied by something Undertale did. Give you a pacifist or genocide run. Let the player choose what happens, because at least then it's not Gregory's fault. He has the option to do things to help them or at least not break them. That could be a lot harder to complete, but it would make for good gameplay. On top of that, we already have multiple endings. It wouldn't be hard to add that from a narrative standpoint. I mean, you wouldn't even need to take any of the other endings away. Just add a pacifist ending. Now moving on to our beloved dad figure. I hate to pick on Freddy, but he has some issues with the writing. At the beginning of the game, and at the middle of the game, he genuinely cares for his friends. But at the end, one of the endings is him lighting the Pizzaplex on fire. Theoretically, that kills Chica, Roxy, Monty, Sun Moon, DJ Music Man, all the Endos, and the little mini Music Men. They were burned to death. I'm sorry, did you just commit a mass offing of all your friends and Vanessa, Freddy? In most of the endings, Freddy doesn't even know that Vanessa is Vanny, so for all he knows, he just murdered a night guard. So much for saying that you and your friends can't hurt people, because it very clearly shows you can. Sure, it was a less thought-through plan and more of a spur-of-the-moment thought, but it's heartless at worst and stupid at best. I could maybe seeing this have a better reaction for a protagonist if he stated with genuine remorse, "This is the only way." This would at least make me have a little bit more sympathy. Another thing, why doesn't he show concern around his friends when walking around the Pizzaplex? I get it's probably just a design feature, but why not have them talk while they're running around? I mean, Freddy is seeing his friends missing valuable body parts. Chica's missing her mouth, Roxy has no eyes, and Monty is freaking cut in half. And I'm sorry, if my friends were like that, I'd be absolutely losing my mind. Freddy should be questioning Gregory about his extreme violence, not just showing mild worry if they're alive or not. Like, have Freddy confront Gregory. Like, really talk about it. Make us feel like these choices impact the ending. Overall, I think Gregory's character could have been executed in a way that could have made him so much more likable. And yes, he could still be aggressive, but it could be given to the player as a choice. Meanwhile, Freddy is just all over the place. It's super important for characters to be consistent, or at least follow a story that has an arc with character growth and reaching the goal. I really did not see that out of these characters. Of course, I realize that there is more context within the books, like how Gregory is potentially a robot to replace the crying child, or, Gregory might have always been in the Pizzaplex, thanks to the sticky note room, or how Freddy is programmed to protect Gregory within the Pizzaplex. And there's so many other possibilities as to what's going on. But as I've stated many, many, many times, a good story doesn't require you to have outside reading so you understand what's going on. It should only be used to clarify details. Anyway, that's all for me. Don't forget to comment down below with your thoughts and perspectives. I'd like to have that conversation with you. If you have any video ideas, leave them down below too. And I'll see you in the next one.